By following the way of the Tao brings you into harmony with the Tao. Basically, it's what Lao Tzu is saying. When we follow the way of the Tao, we follow the course of nature in our own lives, we come into harmony with it because we are trusting it. We are trusting the path. We are trusting that the river is going to the greater ocean in our life. That's what we are trusting. Now, to explain this in a deeper level and to accentuate my point, there was once a Norwegian ethnographer and adventurer named Thor Heyerdahl. Now, Thor Heyerdahl was a really interesting character. He'd been on many adventures, but one of his greatest adventures, his greatest expeditions, was known as Kon-Tiki. Now, Kon-Tiki was an expedition he embarked on in 1947. Now, Kon-Tiki was this idea. Thor Heyerdahl, in true Taoist fashion, believed that if he trusted the world, he would be guided and taken to wherever he needed to be. This was his deep sense of trust that he had. Now, his idea was, him and his small crew, they created a balsa wood raft in Peru. So a balsa wood raft, and his idea was they were just going to put it in the ocean, in the Pacific, and then just drift off into the ocean. Obviously, most people were like, you are completely nuts, because you were just going to drift out and you were never going to be found again. So anyway, Thor Heyerdahl and his small crew built the raft, the balsa wood raft, and they went out. The balsa wood raft was very fragile, and as they went out into the Pacific, over time, the balsa wood raft began to swell up. The logs began to swell, which made it more secure and more durable. The raft became more durable as they went out. And another problem that Thor Heyerdahl and his small crew had wasn't just the boat. Once that secured itself and they went out to sea, there was always the problem of food. Now, miraculously, as they went on day after day, they would wake up every morning with flying fish on the deck. Flying fish are just there, on the deck. Free fish every day. Now, a lot of people say this is a miracle, but Thor Heyerdahl's trust was that if he began to just trust in the ecosystem, he would become one with it. So him and his crew and his raft began to replicate the intelligence of a dolphin. They began to move in the path of least resistance as they traveled into the Pacific Ocean. Now, Heyerdahl and his crew, they drifted for 8,000 kilometers, which is 5,000 miles, and they drifted way out into the Pacific Ocean, and then they wound up on the distant island of Tuamotus in French Polynesia in the South Pacific. They just arrived there, and without any intention, but like I said, they began to mimic the intelligence of a dolphin, and they began to become one with the ecosystem. They began to follow the rhythms of the ocean without forcing. They weren't trying, they were following the Lao Tzu path of stop trying. Then they just began to let go and let the cosmos and the ocean take them where they need to be. And where they need to be was Tuamotus. So he arrived. Now, because they followed this process, Heyerdahl, his crew and the raft, because the trust they had made them an aperture for the universe to express itself. That's the beautiful thing. Now, I'm not recommending any of us should do this, but his trust made him an aperture. And in a sense, we do this all the time when we do sincerely trust in the process of our own life. So this is the Taoist concept that the universe is your body when you trust. And this is actually a concept in Vedanta as well. That the entire universe is an extension of your own body when you trust and you become humble to it. And then the miracles begin to happen in life. People say synchronicity, people call them a lot of words. But when you begin to trust, this is what happens in your life. You begin to mimic the rhythms of nature because you are in harmony with nature, in harmony with the Tao.